clear eyes, full stomachs, can't lose. I think I got that wrong. What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from BackTheMovieGuy.com. This is your favorite blind film critic, and this is the 20th anniversary of Friday Night Lights. The film, not the TV series, was directed by Peter Berg. It stars Billy Bob Thornton, Jay Hernandez, Derek Luke, Garrett Hedlund, Lucas Black, Connie Britton, fun fact, Tim McGraw, and believe it or not, Amber Heard is in this. She has a small part, but it was a little bit before Amber Heard broke out. This is one of her earlier roles. So it's available on Netflix with audio description. So we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about its 20th anniversary and the impact Friday Night Lights had. It's based on a book that explores the town of Odessa and how this small town sort of rallies around its football in a small Texas town. Of course, this comes like 5 years after Varsity Blues, which basically did the same thing, just with like a less inspiring coach, but also really talked about, small town football in Texas. So, and what it means to these players and how the world sort of revolves around them. Adults being really overly interested in high school football. So involved in everything in that. So, in this, it's Coach Gaines, not Coach Taylor. Although it's really interesting, and that's why I paused there for a second, is Connie Britton plays the wife of both coaches. She plays... It's like Peter Berg's casting was so perfect that they recreated it for the TV show. So she plays both the wife to Coach Gaines, played by Billy Bob Thornton in the movie, and then she'll go on to play Tammy Taylor in Friday Night Lights, the TV series, the wife of Kyle Chandler. So, yeah, she kept the role. They changed the name, but it's the same role. Maybe there's some alternate universe in which she divorces Coach Gaines and remarries the next coach that gets hired at the Panthers. I don't know. But, it is what it is. She's all about the Panthers as well. And she just wants to be married to the winning coach of the Panthers. So when Coach Gaines moves on and Coach Taylor comes along, she jumps. It's like, I'm going to do this one instead. So yeah, it's a really well-directed, especially considering a lot of Peter Berg's other films. He sort of gets into this action mindset. He teams up a lot with Mark Wahlberg after this. This is definitely one of his better films as a director. This really sort of gritty look at small town football. It has a completely different vibe than Varsity Blues. It's just the fact that Varsity Blues came 5 years earlier and also did the small town football thing. So it's got a coach that, everything is riding on, like his job and everything is like riding on. You gonna bring home the championship? You gotta bring home, it'd be a terrible shame to see you not bring home the champ. I don't even want to know what that world would be like if you didn't bring home the championship, Coach Gaines. You're gonna have to. Like, are you threatening my job? No, I don't know if I'm just saying, probably best to go ahead and bring home that championship if you get what I'm saying, It's just, along the way we get each one of these people whose characters are based on real people. At the end of the movie, you'll get sort of like where are they now? And it's like, of course, it's the where are they now of 2004, and then add 20 years later onto that, and it's like one of them is like at home with his little girls, and you're like, well, little girls ain't so little anymore. Those girls are grown. Like, I don't even know if that dude still has the same job anymore. He might have retired by now, 20 years later. where is Coach Gaines? Like, what is he doing 20 years later after the events of Friday Night Lights, the film? Uh, so, yeah, you've got Chavez played by Jay Hernandez. Jay, of course, this was sort of still his young phase. Later, he goes on to be Magnum, Thomas Magnum in the reboot of Magnum PI that ran for a very short period of time across 2 networks. Then you have Garrett Hedlund, who is bouncing around. I think he's currently on Tulsa King. Am I right about that? I think he's currently on Tulsa King. But he's bounced around through franchises and films, and Country Strong. He was in that. He was pretty good in that. Lucas Black has been around forever. He was always the guy that I was like, when are they going to bring him back to Fast and Furious? It's all about family. When is he actually going to get to be a part of family? Like, for real. Like, not this shitty cameo that he does in one of the films, but like a real part. Where are Lucas Black and Bow Wow? You made us watch an entire film about them, and you're recruiting everybody in the known universe to be in this franchise. Where are they? So, yeah, I still kind of wonder that. I'm hoping Lucas Black is in maybe 11. I don't. It's hard to wish that upon anybody anymore, because we're like, this is a franchise that should stop making movies at this point. But hey, you know what? If we're gonna finish it, bring him in there. But I've always been impressed with Lucas Black's work. He was a really good child actor and moved his way up. And I know he does a lot of TV work now too. And the last one is Derek Luke, who I just think is a great actor. I think Derek Luke is great. Antoine Fisher, he was fantastic in that. I kind of wish he was more prominent as an actor today. So, a great little group of young men. He plays Booby Miles, and it's so funny to keep hearing Booby in the audio description. Booby does this, and Booby does that, and Booby. I'm just like, what an odd nickname for somebody. And they just keep using it over and over. Booby. So it follows sort of like the similar trope. I hate comparing this franchise to Varsity Blues, but it's like, it does kind of hit a lot of the marks that Varsity Blues did 5 years earlier, where they also have sort of like a star player who gets taken out, and then it's like up to a less experienced player to sort of like rise up. And in their stead, it's the same. Like, we just did this not that long ago. It's like every 5 years we're going to make this similar movie. Did they make a movie like this in 2009 that I'm just like unaware of? So yeah, it's Friday Night Lights is great, but I also love Varsity Blues, even though Varsity Blues is obviously not a fictional take, and definitely sillier in some places. Friday Night Lights feels grittier and real. Friday Night Lights feels less like it was adapted from a book and more like somebody looked at Varsity Blues and was like, no, let's get the whipped cream out of here and make a serious adaptation of this. And then the TV series is like, no, we're gonna do it even better, even more serious, and even more heartfelt over a long period of time. So, the audio description, though, it's okay when I could hear it. It was balanced a little low. Is what I'm going to say. It's not quite balanced at the level at which it should be for the film. Like, the film kind of is beating out the audio description a little too much. You kind of have to strain to hear it. So be prepared for that if you're going to watch it on Netflix, possibly anywhere. I've learned that some of these are just like, that's the way the film keeps getting passed around. I haven't reviewed Sinister because its audio description is basically unusable. I tried watching that film. I had the film up so loud, but the audio description track was like 2,000 times louder than the actual film. It was insane. Like I had my audio description was like screaming at me and I couldn't hear the film. So this is a little bit like you're probably gonna have to play the film a little bit louder just so you can hear the audio description. Just be aware. In case it passes somewhere else. I don't know if that's a Netflix problem or if it's a problem with the actual audio description overlay. It just has never been fixed. But it does have audio description. I thought it was okay. I mean, there's a lot of talking here. There's a lot always going on. A lot of really busy scenes that it has a hard time interjecting into. But it tries. Probably the worst times when it tries are because it's so low is when it feels comfortable talking over like maybe like a rock song or something that's like playing to get us through a montage of sequences. Those are like the hardest because it's really hard to hear the audio description during those scenes. So I can't even like really fully talk about the context because I was straining the whole time to be like, what? So I missed even with my like ability to control the home volume, I would say I still miss like 5% to 10% of the audio description, just in certain sequences, like not fully being able to understand what was being said just because it played really low. So not my favorite experience, but I like Friday Night Lights. I actually own this on DVD. Just the fun fact about being blind and owning DVDs is that when you lose your vision, you find out all of your DVDs are inaccessible because virtually none of them have audio description tracks on them, even though we can throw all these random special features on there and they all have the capability to play that audio track. You know, I've got director's commentaries out the ass. Do I have audio description out the ass? Not so much. Disney was pretty good about it on the Disney DVDs, but other than that, it's scarce. Sometimes it's hard out here for a pimp. Should you watch Friday Night Lights? Absolutely. That's an easy, just the legacy that it's left behind, the fact that it's based on legacy, the fact that everything is tied in. It's a great sports movie. It's a great sports drama. It's not like my favorite film of all time, but I think it's a really strong sports movie. I don't even know if it's my favorite sports movie of all time. I enjoy Varsity Blues because it's fun. But, you know, it's got some really good lines and some really good quotes. Friday Night Lights, I was ready for Clear Eyes, Full Hearts, Can't Lose because I was so used to the TV series part of that. So when it gets to the moment and Billy Bob starts giving this speech that is basically Clear Eyes, Full Hearts, Can't Lose, he's like, you got the clear eyes and when the hearts are full. I was like, and they can't lose? I don't know, he kind of like meanders his way through like a version of it. In his big inspirational speech, sort of at the end. But one of the best things about this is just the way the movie ends, honestly, I don't want to spoil it. For me, I loved it. I love how the way the movie ends. So, every other sports movie makes the easy choice, and this one makes a different choice, and I like that. Because it's so easy to do the other, but to keep it real, to keep it strong, you know, I just like the way the movie goes. So, 20 years of Friday Night Lights, 20 years of Clear Eyes. Both the movie and the TV series agree that you need clear eyes. Well, I'm out. I do not have clear eyes. If I have a fuller heart, do I have a shot at not losing? Because I don't have the clear eyes. I'm sorry. that is not my path in life, coach. You can't, I don't know if you're going to be able to put me in or not. But I don't know. I'll give Friday Night Lights an A-. Welcome, celebrate your 20th anniversary. Enjoy Friday Night Lights. It's a solid football drama for anybody who just enjoys football, especially enjoys that like small town. I lived in a small town, and I wouldn't say it was quite like this, but it was a lot like this. It's like, man, a lot of people showed up for the high school football games, and you're like, these are way more than parents. Like, there's some people in here who have never had children before, you know, and this is all they can do. Like, they're just all about this. There's some people, you know, who obviously played football a long time ago, and they're like still holding on to it. They're like, when did you play? I played in the 60s, but I've been to every game since, you know. I mean, that's the absolute vibe that you get in small town football games. So, yeah, very accurate. And people parking outside because they can't get in, and they're like watching the game from. Anyway, yeah, I've seen all that before. And rallying for the team, regardless of sort of what their record is. They're like, we're 3-8. Yeah, we fucking kick ass. You know, like, go Panthers. It doesn't even matter. It's just, all that stuff is like, it hits true. It's not a Texas thing. It's a small town thing. I feel like there are people out there who know exactly what I'm talking about and never lived in Texas. They watched Friday Night Lights and they were like, you know, this isn't exclusive to Texas, right? I know you keep making this about Texas sports, but there are a lot of small towns that are like set up throughout the country where they have nothing else but sports, high school sports, that just dominate their way of life. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.